Welcome to a Sunday Chit Chat, where I share with you about my short-term memory loss, how it affects me on a daily basis, visual clues to help me, and some cleaning tips that help me in the shower. Hi, welcome back to Michelle's Life on Repeat. I'm Michelle. Today, I wanted to share with you a few things about short-term memory and the loss of it, or short-term memory. That's what I wanted to talk about. With chronic illness, it can get you down. Some days my memory is sharp, other days it is so bad, and I just have to tell my husband in advance, I'm having one of them days. If you know what I mean, go ahead and give me a like down below. I find myself when I'm watching movies with my husband, when it's a bad memory kind of day, that I will constantly ask, what's the name of the movie? What's the name of the movie? Excuse me, I know I've already asked this a few times. I remember that much. But what's the name of the movie again that we're watching? And I realize later, he always says, never apologize for having to ask. And so I have a lot of grace. But I realize the reason I can't remember the title is because I'm very visual orientated. And the title only comes up on the screen once or twice, at the beginning of the movie and at the end of the movie. But during the movie, when I'm watching the content, the title's not there. My mind remembers the content, but it doesn't remember the title. How crazy are our brains? That's just the way mine works. So I often will have to ask again, what is this? How do I do this? And I need to have it visually imprinted in front of me. One way that plays out is with my orchids. So today I came up with a little plan to help me. If it helps you, great. Let me show you. I've cut out a bunch of little stickers. They're not stickers, sorry. I cut out a bunch of little pieces of crafting paper, different shades to represent different things that the orchid needs. Green, to me, will mean it's intermediate. It doesn't like it too hot. It doesn't like it too cold. The brown is telling me that it likes to dry out between each watering, because I have a tendency to overwater. I think you must be thirsty. I'm thirsty, you must be thirsty. And that's not good when you're an orchid that loves to dry out. White, for me, tells me it loves humidity. So if I crank up the humidity and it's a day in the orchid room where it's up pretty high, I will make sure to cluster all my high humidity loving plants near each other. The sun, of course, tells me, the sunshiny paper, that it likes sun. Now I know, and it stays in my memory, that no orchid loves to sit in direct sun and burn. So that's never an issue for me to remember that, but it is an issue for me if it likes it cloudy or dappled shade or sun. So that helps me. So for this dendrobium, I've got some clues now. It's not that I didn't care and I didn't remember that it needed special care. It's just that when you line them all up with all my other orchids, my memory went boom, and I couldn't remember them. I do have an app that one of the wonderful YouTube channels, a Bumblebee, put out, and I love it. You can download and put all the information in about your orchid, when you bought it, how much you paid, where it came from, what it loves, what its name. You can add pictures from your own phone to it, and that is very helpful long term. But in my orchid room, I needed something visual right there for me. Let me show you another one. This little tiny one I recently showed you from Fantasy Orchids. It's my little BL yellow bird. I know that it loves water, but it wants to dry out in between, and it loves humidity, and it loves sunshine and highlight. So that's helpful for me. Now I'm gonna put a little cheat sheet on my wall, and every time I get slightly confused, I can go and read that chart and know what each color represents, and it'll save me a world of crazy thinking. Short-term memory is a mystery to me, how some things stick, some things don't, but you work with what you can work with. How do you come up with ways and strategies to remember the fine details that you need? Let me know in the comments down below. I have chronic illness and I try not to let it get me down. And I've come up with new ways to do things that are maybe a little unconventional, things that I do around the house to make it a little bit easier for me. And also some of the funny things I've read. I wanted to share that with you today. Remember, I'm reading a new Thomas Hardy book, Jude the Obscure. Well, I was in bed last night listening to it on the library website that I use, Overdrive, and I found myself chuckling because of this scene. Let me read it to you. It's about the main character Jude encountering a woman for the first time who caught his fancy, and he's naive and he's never even thought about pretty girls. He's only thought about his books and studying. Chapter 6, page 45. "What a nice looking girl you are," he murmured, though the words had not been necessary to express his sense of her magnetism. "Ah, you should see me on Sundays," she said quaintly. "I don't suppose I could," he answered. "Oh, that's for you to think on. There's nobody after me just now, though there might be in a week or two." She had spoken this without a smile, and the dimples disappeared. Jude felt himself drifting strangely, but could not help it. "Will you let me?" "I don't mind," she said. I just thought that was so cute. She knew that he did not know much about the girls and their blinking eyes and that kind of stuff, and that he was in awe of her, but she had to throw in the, "Well, there's nobody after me right now, but there might be someone next week or the week thereafter." I thought that was so funny. To me, made me chuckle. It made my day. That's where I am at in the book, chapter 6, 7, 8, somewhere around there. I fell asleep. I'll have to go back and check it out. With you a tip that I have found very, very helpful for me with chronic illness and pains, and that is cleaning my bathroom shower. I keep in my shower, hanging off the little doohickey that holds all your shampoos and stuff. I keep one of those sponges that have a tube and you fill it with your dish soap. I keep one of those filled up with the toilet bowl clinging thick, what's it called? Toilet bowl cleaner. I guess that's what it's called. I keep that in there because it's thick, and when I'm in the shower and I'm soaking my conditioner or I'm letting my back get hit with the hot shower, I can scrub the tiles in between, and it's nice and thick and it bubbles up. It's perfect. The other thing I keep in there is a dangling scrub brush where I can sprinkle borax on the tiles or on the floor, and then I can scrub it while I'm waiting for the conditioner to dry out to soak into my hair. That's one of my shower tips. I find coming back after I've completely showered and trying to clean a whole bathroom at once is too much for me. It makes me dizzy and I sort of overheat and pass out and have to lay down. So little bits at a little time, I can get my shower cleaned. I may just do one wall one day, one wall the next day. All those ums, ands, and word descriptions that I could not come up with was not planned out. That's how my brain works. And today it's quite ironic that I would lose my memory choice for words while I'm making a video about memory.